Hello learners, I am again here to talk to you about the creative writing course which is a part of the diploma in creative writing. As you all know, we've been talking about the general principles of writing. We've tried to understand what writing is all about. How do you kind of embark on the journey of writing creatively, because we all are going to learn here certain tenets of creative writing. And as you all know that we've been talking about again and again that writing is a creative expression, and it is often believed to be a difficult task because it is kind of generally believed that it is difficult for one to acquire the skills that are needed to be a good writer. Now, in this course, we all hope that you as students get that proficiency. So, I would suggest that we are trying to achieve that proficiency not only to write well, but also I'm trying to give you the much needed artistic expression that is required. You kind of should achieve the proficiency to write according to your taste. So this is a very gradual process because you evolve in this process. So we kind of will take you step by step. We'll kind of teach you and inform you about the very basic fundamentals that are required to be a writer, or that I should say required in the writing process. We need to be talking about the content. So how do you develop the content? What is the form of a written narrative? How do you provide a structure to your writing? And also the style. So the content, the form, the structure and the style, that is all needed to be a good writer. It is also hoped that after reading this entire course, or after probably learning this course, and you've acquired the much needed insight, at some point of time you should be able to kind of progressively control yourself and become an accomplished writer. Now that writing should not be a conscious process. What I'm trying to make you understand is that this writing should come naturally to you. It should become a spontaneous process. It should be a spontaneous overflow of your emotions that are very powerful. And as it is always said, Shakespeare once said that poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions. So I would rather, kind of take the quote from him and say, writing creatively is again a spontaneous process. It is a spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions that you pen down. So it should come naturally to you. It should come spontaneously to you without creatively making an effort, without conscious effort. We also need to understand that writing is a process where a lot of trial and error takes place. It is not just you sit down and you want to pen a certain genre of writing and it happens. No, writing is a process where a lot of trial and a lot of errors keeps on going. So it is important that as a student of creative writing, you need to have patience, because patience is one important tenet which will teach you to write creatively. So to write creatively, a student needs to imbibe patience. This writing creatively is again, it is very much like any other artistic form of expression, be it dance, be it drama, be it music, and so is writing. So the student learns this through everyday practice, everyday control, and lot of patience. To achieve perfection in writing it is an ever-growing process. So the process continues, and it is a very gradual process. You do not evolve you do not become a writer overnight. You evolve as a writer, wherein a lot of observation, experience, and then patience. All these things play a vital role. Now, creative writing, it requires patience, but also the writer, as they grow through the years of experience, they learn to look at things, look at facts from a very different perspective. Each individual has their own perspective, and you try and look at things from very different perspectives. We must understand, initially we need to understand, why does a writer in the first place decide to write? So why do you decide to write, or why do you want to be an author? The very requirement to be an author, or most writers are always under some kind of inner urge or some kind of compulsion to write. Most of the time they write what they observe in the society around them, and like all creative artists, one cannot believe somebody to be a full-time writer, because they need to take some other kind of professions also. So they need time to explore their truthful power of creation. So their truthful power of creation also needs time to be, to develop, to kind of grow, and then they need to explore a lot of things, because any writer is again a social human being, and to write, to share his feelings with others is his inner urge, which is very genuine, because they are again emotional humans. So the emotions need to be shared. They want their ideas to be heard by others. Now this is a general writing process, that this is something what happens in your psyche. You have an urge to express or to share your feelings with others, and these feelings are your own individual emotions and desires, and you have your own point of view, your own way of telling things. Now, fine, this is your inner urge, but how do you write? So as a writer, you require certain kind of guidance, because the works are written alone by yourself. Now, we kind of carefully design this course to help you to come out with your potential as a writer. We kind of makes the process, we are trying to make this process very easy for you, so that you follow certain norms, you kind of bring out the best of your ability, and you try to understand what exactly is writing all about. The writing, probably some of you would be wanting to undertake writing fiction, while others would be wanting to do non-fiction. So non-fiction, as I would say, is based on facts, and it is very informative. And the plot or the theme can be it could be curricular theme, or it could be intercurricular. But when we talk about non-fiction creative writing, it flows out of the mind of the writer, and it can be true, it can be false, it can be based on certain facts, it may be a creation of his own imagination. So there are no boundaries. It does not have any bound. It does not bind itself by any rules or regulations. Technical writing can be taught, however, but the fictional and the creative writer, he depends, and the outcome of a fictional and a creative writing depends entirely on the writer, his ability to captivate his readers through his imagination, and the text that he writes cannot be boring, and it must kind of force the reader to read the page after page of his narrative. Now what happens is, I would like to emphasize certain basic things that a writer must follow. Probably when you are thinking about the content of your writing must be such that it resonates with the central theme of the fiction. When you're writing a fiction, the content should somewhere have some kind of similarity. It should resonate with the central theme of the fiction. For example, if the central theme is love, so the predominant emotion must be love. And the other emotions, probably the emotions of hatred, jealousy, rivalry, cheating, they should be treated as sub-emotions. So the content of the writing must resonate with the central theme of the fiction, and the secondary emotions can be treated as sub-emotions. Now, a good writer must also be a good reader, because as again and again I've been emphasizing the fact that a good writer must also be a good reader. He has to observe things and he has to be very widely read, because if the writer reads the works of other writers extensively, he will be able to have a better understanding, and he will also become better in his skill. So extensive reading is definitely on the list. You have to follow a good schedule of reading things, and you should be widely read, because that kind of encompasses the spheres of your knowledge, that widens the spheres of your knowledge. Now you have to whatever you read, you have to imbibe that knowledge into your system, because that is how you evolve, you become mature, and it is this maturity which matters a lot. The writer must allow his emotions to mature, and this is how he evolves, and this is how he develops his writing. So it is not necessary that the writer must be old in age, but he must be old enough. What I'm trying to say is that his reading, his emotions must be mature enough to understand the complexities of human psyche. So, it is very, very important, it is very, very imperative, it is very, very needed, it is much needed that the writer must be old enough in terms of emotions, in terms of feelings, which means he should have evolved his emotions, because then only he will have the capability to understand the complexities of the human emotions, human feelings. And when he is in a position to understand these complex human emotions, will he be able to express them in his own words. Now, apart from being mature enough, another important thing that a writer must understand is he has to be a good listener, because he must think through the minds of other. He must be able to think through the society. He must be able to think through the social, political happenings of his surroundings. He should be able to look at human experiences very closely, rather imbibe, rather share, rather feel those experiences. And this will happen only when the writer is a good listener. So a writer who has, who kind of is very patient, as I've been telling you in the beginning of this lecture, that somebody who wants to be an eminent writer has to be very, very patient, because that is how your experiences, how your emotions and other things evolve, and then they help you in the making of a good writer. So the writer must be a good listener. He must be able to think through the society, and he should also be able to look at human experiences very closely. It is also better that the writer develops his own style, because if you are able to develop your own style, he must be, he would be like not afraid, he would be very free, he would dare to try to write new themes and kind of embark on a new journey. Probably he could take up new ideas, he could take on new paths that have not been explored earlier. So he should be somebody who develops his own style. He should be somebody who is not scared to write or share his emotions. And see, each and every emotion has its own way of expressing itself. Probably a person who is very happy has a way of expressing their emotions and feelings entirely different from a person B. So, each individual has their own way of writing things. Each individual has their own way of expressing happiness. For example, a person, a child, a young teenage girl, probably in her 16, 17, or probably in her early 20s, is excited about celebrating a birthday. So if you kind of try, and if you are a writer from that age group, probably you will have an entirely different way of expressing your happiness, entirely different way of sharing of your emotions, your feelings, your excitement. But somebody who is probably at a little later age, who I should say in their mid 50s, in their early 50s, would have a very subtle way of expressing their happiness. They too will be celebrating their birthday, but then they will have an entirely different way of expressing their happiness, an entirely different way of sharing their emotions. So what happens is, it is very important that you should develop your own style, and you should not be afraid of expressing your own emotions and your own feelings the way you feel them. There's not going to be a similarity in the writings of a young person. Somebody who is at a middle-aged writer will kind of share those same emotions and feelings in a very different manner, and somebody who has kind of traveled a lot will express it entirely differently. So this is one important thing. As I've always been telling you, that please maintain a personal diary, because then this is something which is going to help you to take down notes, to take down your feelings, and also to write down what you observe during the day, during the week, during the month. So in your journey of being a writer, in your journey of being a creative writer, it helps you a lot. So maintain your diary, because this noting in private helps you, at times to explore new themes with lot of clarity and lot of meaning and lot of new perspectives. The writer must also kind of keep checking his ideas, keep checking his works. So, in other words, I would say he must keep revisiting his work, and that is how you make the work better. It will become more and more evolved. It will thus give the writing a lot of understanding, a lot of meaning, and then a lot of readership. So writing is a process where you kind of keep doing things every now and then. It is not something that you sit down one morning and start penning down your emotions. See, what happens is you are again and again reacting to certain facts, you are again and again reacting to certain emotions, and all these things are being jotted down. Probably a certain fact of life might instigate a certain emotion in the morning. While looking at the same flower, you might feel a very different emotion in the afternoon or in the late evening. So you probably are a single individual who reacts differently to a particular situation at different times of the day, at different times, because you have different moods, you have different emotions at different times of your life. So, probably maintaining that diary is going to help you evolve as a writer, because then you can counter those emotions, you can read those emotions, you can analyze those emotions, and whichever suits you best or whichever suits your writing the best, you can start working on it. So, because the intense need is of this writing. Why are we writing? We are writing because you have this intense need to communicate with others. You kind of want to communicate with others. You want others to try and analyze the emotions that you're penning down, and this is what is going to make you creative. So please pay attention to the idea of maintaining a diary and writing and penning down your emotions, your feelings, your ideas, and your thoughts. So these are certain few important things which are going to help you in your journey to be a creative writer. Please pay attention to all of them, because what we are going to talk about in the coming sessions or in the coming videos is that while you want to communicate with others, it also becomes important that you need to be focused. There has to be a lot of clarity and also lot of precision in what you are conveying. So all these things, when taken together into consideration, helps you become a creative writer. And this is what we are going to do in this course of creative writing. Good luck.